May the force be with you is a phrase used to wish a person well to overcome a challenge. The invitation in this podcast, May the life force be with you, is to explore what it means to truly feel alive, to appreciate the physical, emotional, and spiritual connection to our energy, and finally to understand how this impacts who you are and all that you do. May this conversation inspire you to thrive. This episode of May the Life Force Be With You is brought to you by Moment Company and the Moment Pebble. The Moment Pebble is a beautiful, natural stone, light-guided breathing device and is a unique gift for someone who needs that gentle reminder to stop and take a break, to take moments throughout their busy day and to practice mindfulness. Just head over to momentcompany.co, that's momentcompany.co, and enter the code LIFEFORCE at checkout to receive an exclusive 10% podcast discount.
Hello and welcome to May the Life Force Be With You. And our intention for this episode is that you feel every word that resonates and it brings you into connection with your life force energy. May you follow your life force energy into the leaps of faith that your soul wants to make.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Karila. And it's my duty today to introduce our guest, who is Sam Williams. And Sam is the founder of Zen Tent Events and also the Elements Retreat, which is launching into its second year. And I just took a little look at the website and it just says the Elements Retreat, disconnect from the outside world and immerse yourself in nature to reconnect with your body, mind, and spirit. Rediscover what lights you up and find yourself in your element. That sounds beautiful. So I'm sure we've got a lot to talk about there, but also Sam spent 25 years as a social worker before recently taking one of those leaps of faith that Karila mentioned at the start and entering into this beautiful holistic world that she now and we now find ourselves in. So welcome, Sam, to May the Life Force Be With You. And I was saying at the beginning that I think we've had one other Welsh person, but we love accents, obviously, in our podcast. So we're very excited to understand more about the Welsh countryside and woodlands and what magic they can bring to the conversation. But I'd like to start just by asking you what life force energy means to you.
Oh, thank you for the invite, ladies. It's an absolute pleasure to be part of what you're bringing to life here. My life force energy, everything about that is being in my element. Literally, things that give me joy. The things that pop in and make me go, oh, I'm alive. Allows all the energy to come through. And one of those things for me is being in nature. Just immersing myself, whether that's any one of the elements, really. Immersing myself in everything to do with from the trees to the water to, I'm a fire walker. So I try and do that to bring my own joy and joy for others.
So I'm guessing that's where the name of your retreat comes from, the Elements Retreat.
It is, but there's a special story on that one. Do you want me to give you the brief?
Yes, tell us the story. Sorry, before you do, I just want to say, because most people, when they think retreat, think like 20 people or something like that. But this is like a festival. Like it's like not like you put on a 20-person retreat last year. This is like hundreds of people, right? It's like halfway between a retreat and a festival.
You could stretch it and call it a mini festival, but I really wanted to avoid the word festival for me because festival conjures up a lot of connotations and different meanings for different people. The idea was for everybody to be in their element and everybody to have that time to refill their cups. So it was purposely named the retreat because it's for therapists and practitioners and people of service, all of those people out there that just give and give and give. I wanted them all to gather together to receive. And we don't fill our cups up often enough. We just carry on. We're just of service. And it takes a strong person to be able to go, no, I'm going to prioritize me. So we wanted that opening for people to step into, to go, oh, this 4 days is about co-creation, collaboration, but also receiving, being able to, receive it.
And is this from your time as a social worker and kind of observing being in that caring profession that you ultimately recognize that a lot of carers don't take back for themselves? It is a one-way flow of life force energy. It's a one-way flow of giving. And is that where the inspiration came from?
The inspiration didn't come from, but the knowing did.
Right.
The knowing that I worked a lot with foster carers and I watched them tirelessly do 24 hours every single day of care, of service. I watched my friends burn out in social work. And it was just poignant all the time that our life force can be zapped within an instant. You can wake up one day and it's gone because you've given too much. So the rest inside of life and the being present to yourself and filling your own cup, really, really important. I'm not saying I was great at it, but I recognized that needed to happen. So the elements came. I am following my shamanic path on the side. So whilst a social worker, also following my heart and my path that way. So I often go drumming in the woods and find a little space to connect and to journey. And it was through one of those journeys that I was taken to a space where I popped up and I was dancing as fire. And then I looked around and I saw the elements all around me, just talking and coming in and playing. And I thought, oh, well, I didn't think. It wasn't a thought. It was more of a knowing that something had to be built in order to allow the elements to play. And that's when I thought, oh, I'll just gather a few friends in the woodland.
So you gathered a few friends and basically created.
Well, we did. That's how it happens. I promise you, this is what happens when you vibrate in the right way and it's bigger than us. That was a phrase that was just all around me. And I had to get out of my head and get into my heart and follow, even though I was terrified, thinking, a big retreat, gathering lots of people together. It's a big responsibility.
It's huge. It's huge, like putting on a normal sized thing for like 20 people is so hard. The scale of it, like to gather that many people, like I know you don't want it called a festival, but I just want people to understand that like it's like a big gathering.
Well, let me tell you, I'm going to your website again, the types of things that are on there. So fire walking, arrow breaking, I'm intrigued by that. Wood fire sauna, cacao, ice baths, kundalini, yoga, sound therapy, drumming, ecstatic dance, breath work, conscious DJs. I love the sound of that. Hypnotherapy, workshops, and more. I mean, that is a lot of
it's like a village.
Holding.
So I'm big on collaboration and co-creation. I'm big on people being able to step on a platform and show their skill, because a lot of people hide their skills and hide their wares, and it's just like, get on in and do this. So we've got from family constellation as well, one of my favorite things, run by my beautiful soul sister.
Sorry, say again.
Family constellations.
Family constellations. I will be honest, I thought you said Fanny, and with this podcast, that would not surprise me.
That's a whole different workshop.
A whole other work. That's the after dark workshop.
I know.
But you know what? We have got a womb workshop.
See?
And we've also got a Finding Your Feminine Bliss workshop, your orgasmic feminine bliss. So yeah, we've got those sorts of workshops too. All the spectrum.
I'm like, so you have this vision, you're drumming in the woods, you have this vision, and people get visions, you know, like spirit likes to give people visions and downloads and ideas, but not many people actually then go and do it. Like, how did it go from inspiration, I'm seeing the elements playing together, to being physically manifest? Because I think so many people get these visions and they don't execute, you know, they get these amazing visions of what they could do and then they don't do them.
That's a great question. I started, it was about getting out of my head. It was almost like the knowing that, oh, this is going to happen. And I was looking at myself going, oh, no, don't do that. But I found myself picking up the phone because I recognized the woodland that I was in, and it was in Candleston Woods, and I'd been there as a child. And
what? So you get a vision of the specific woodland that this is going to happen in.
Yeah. So
and you remembered it from your childhood.
Yeah, it's not far from me. So it's a place that we walked the dogs as well. So it's, you know, it's a beautiful place. It's a woodland that's very special. And I thought, this is familiar. That's where that is. So I rang them and said, have you got any space? Have you got any, you know, any dates? And they were kind of, no, because we're full. And I thought, oh, and then she said, let me have a check. What dates are you looking for? And it was just like, I'd love to do something on the full moon in June. The date was available.
I mean, this is where I feel like, you know, spirit journeying, taking your drum to the woods. It's like how alignment happens is amazing.
Yeah.
You know, it's like if you do follow the vision, it is amazing how, you know, the one date you want, that it is aligned with the moon because you want it. It is amazing how kind of spirit has already foreseen this happening before it's even told you about it. And has kept the one weekend free that you want. That is amazing. And so you booked it? Did you have to pay?
Yeah,
that would have been the hurdle that a lot of people would have fallen on, I would imagine, is like, oh no, now I've got to front all of this money.
Yeah, they were lovely because you pay a deposit. So I paid a deposit thinking in my head, do you know what? If I just gather 50 of my people, 50 of my friends and 50 of the people that I work with and I admire, and, you know, maybe that's what could be co-created here. It was a co-creation kind of space. So I thought, yeah, let's do it. And then I started to tell people what I'd done. And it was phenomenal. Honestly, people said, oh, yeah, I'm in. I'm in. So I rang my cousin. The first person I rang was P, and she's up in Scotland. And I said, do you fancy bringing a sweat lodge down to Wales? And she was a hell yes, I'm in. And I thought, great. I rang my soul sister over in the Netherlands, and I said, do you fancy coming over to Wales and bringing family constellations? And she was just, yeah, I'm in. I thought, oh, people are coming. And you know that film, If You Build It, They Will Come? Mm-hmm. It was that.
Dreams.
And then I was thinking, how do we do the practical side of life? How do we, because there's a lot of everything from the digital side to the marketing side to all of those things as well. Because it's great to be able to create and you think, oh yeah, I can just build a program, but it's all of the minutiae and the details. And then people stepped in. Kelly Quinn, she's an amazing, amazing person that I work with. She's my person. And she just stepped in and went, yeah, we're doing this. I had Tanya. There was just so many people. Tanya came on board as a digital wizard and just created the website for us. And these are women that just stepped in because of the leap of faith.
Wow.
Rebecca Randall, she jumped on board. She was just like, yeah, I'm in. How can I help you?
Wow.
Yeah. And we're not talking about, interviewing people for jobs and go, oh, you can do this. These were just women that said, I see what you're doing. I see what you're trying to bring together. And I'm going to just jump in with both feet.
And what do you think really resonated with them? Because, there are types of festivals out there. There's obviously lots of retreats. There's lots of people or opportunities for people to have sound baths and yoga retreats. What do you think resonated most with what you had the vision to create, and why people just came out the woodwork?
That's a great question. I think it was the fact that I was trying to build the space for people to fill their cups properly. I think it was that in service. People, the world has been, a bit crazy for the last couple of years, and people are tired, and they're running on empty. And it was the recognition that no, people do need to fill their cups, and more importantly, people who are giving to others.
I'm really glad we circled back around to that, because I've actually just, at the time of recording, it's just been Easter. And, one of the things, so every year, it's also an eclipse window. And every eclipse window, I do what's called shadow work, which is like working with the deep subconscious for healing. And the shadow that we've just been looking at is the self-sacrifice wound, which is obviously this wound that has collectively, it is the story of Easter. So collectively, we've been very conditioned to think that self-sacrifice is love, and that to care fully, or to, we've been very collectively, ancestrally conditioned to self-sacrifice ourselves in order to demonstrate or give love to others. And what I explored over this eclipse shadow work was how much, the only thing you can ever truly sacrifice is your energy. and so it's kind of back to that life force thing again of, if you empty your cup, then you actually stop being able to do the love and do the care and do the thing, and just that it's kind of almost so important at this time that we learn to love in a way that is also self-sustaining, and not self-sacrificing. But it is this thing that we almost have to re-language in the way we love, because we have been so imprinted upon with self-sacrifice is love.
I agree. There's almost like a martyr level to it, and that self-love just gets forgotten. And it's if we're not overflowing, then how can we give to others?
And do you feel that in your old in the profession of the kind of care industry, that it's just not something that's talked about? Because when I talked about, how it resonates, some people that would be in that profession or in that state of not being able to be aware of the amount that they are giving, how do we help them recognize that it's okay to focus on self-love? How do you get them interested in the retreat? How did you then reach out to the people that you really wanted to support in the caring profession and really resonate with them?
Yeah. It's really interesting because it was done one by one.
Right.
Literally having those conversations. And it wasn't work. It was connection. It was touching base with somebody and reminding each individual that they're giving a lot, and come and receive. Just come and sit and feel and step into what it's like to fill yourself back up. And there was a lot of resistance.
Yeah,
A lot of
I can
people
feel
just
that,
like,
though.
oh,
I feel that. And when you said just come and receive, oof, that hit me hard. And I'm not in that profession, but that really got me, that little sentence there.
Yeah.
Whew, that feels
There
quite
was a lot of,
emotionally
the
charged.
resistance came with that I haven't got time. And that led to further inquiry and further connection and a deepening of conversation, where we were able to go, why haven't we got time to just rest?
And what came out of that inquiry? Like, why did people not have time to rest? What came out of that?
I think it was that life is busy. There's always something else to do. And then that goes back to in service with others. And our default is to give often. And we don't take the time to have a stop and smell the roses. Take a breath for ourselves and go, oh, I'm important too.
It was interesting because when we were doing the shadow work in the eclipse window around this self-sacrifice wound, one of the pieces of guidance that came through was like, if you are busy, it is because you are not receiving you are not receiving with equal force of what you're giving. So it's because the busyness is actually the feeling of over giving and not receiving in equal force. And what came through is that especially the out of time wound, which I personally really resonate with, it like time is really how we are held. So time, we're held by the cycles of the moon. We're held by the cycles of the planet. Like, time is how we are held. So being out of time is the expression of not being held. It's not allowing yourself to be held. And so in a way, whenever you're out of time, the most important thing you can do is go and be held, because the experience of being out of time is actually a lived experience of feeling unheld.
Yeah, I resonate with that. And I think it's something about, I think I was able to give permission to people. It was like just that permission to be able to go, you're allowed to be held. You know, this is all part of being human, and let us just, come on in. Yeah. It's funny with the shadow work that you're just mentioning. I can share with you guys. We've just had a conversation with Jamie Cato. Now, I'm not sure whether you're familiar with him, but he is the founder of the School for the Insanely Gifted.
Is that not X-Men?
Mm?
Is that not X-Men?
He's a special person in life. He was one of the original members of the band Faithless.
Oh yeah.
And he's gone on his journey. He went on a journey to meet Ram Dass, and he is literally, in my words, I think he's the king of shadow work. He brings it here, and he goes, guys, look at the shadows.
I gotta meet this man.
I was going to say, Karila needs to meet this man.
Well, me and him have got to have dinner.
Another leap of faith. I contacted Jamie and I said, do you want to come and play in the woods? And he was just like, okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Did you actually write that?
I love it so much.
He stepped in. He's a hell yes. He listened to the vision, and he just listened. I think he listened a little bit like this. But he said, I see what you're doing. I'm in. So he's coming. So we haven't advertised that. We haven't told anybody that yet. So you guys are getting that news.
Wow, we're getting the first news. That's amazing. I want to ask you about this because it sounds like every stage of this has been leap of faith, and you're letting the purpose really drive the actions, which is amazing, and people are feeling the purpose and resonating with the purpose. But I just want to ask, like, it feels like your ability to be in faith or to take those leaps of faith, it feels like it's a well-built muscle in you, because a lot of people don't know how to take a leap of faith. They actually don't, you know? And you mentioned that you've done, or you are, a fire walker, and I just wondered if that has cultivated your ability. Because to me, like, to walk across fire takes quite a lot of faith. Like, do you think that's where you built the faith muscle?
Oh, do you know what? I love the way that your lens sees me. I really do. Because let me just tell you now, it takes a lot of bringing in my energy and courage and a lot of dithering and a lot of getting out of my head. This is not just a well-practiced muscle. This is like, oh, hang on a minute. I've got to drop into the heart. Keep on dropping into the heart and find out what the heart wants. Leave the head alone. And I have to practice that every moment that I walk this earth. And I really try to do that. But also, I have days where I fail miserably. And that's a learning. Every time I fail, I learn.
But you've tried. In order to fail, you had to try in the first place. And I would suggest that you are very good at it, because it's manifesting what you need and what you're called to bring in. And the fact that the days that feel like a failure usually lead to something else unexpected, is my experience. So was that a failure, or was that actually, no, that's not what we wanted you to do? It's this thing over here that's now magically appeared. And, it's learning to listen and be aware of those signs. I think that it's certainly my experience of that. But I would suggest you have a lot of courage. And faith.
Do you know what? That's really key, I think, is the when you listen and you try not to spiral. I don't know how you guys feel, but sometimes when doors start closing, and you can spiral and you can be on the floor before you know it. And it's just like that, the taking the breath and going, okay, that door's closed, and just spinning around and thinking, which one is opening now? That's living life and feeling, oh, okay, I have to have the faith. I have to have the faith that it's bigger than me.
And do you think that, do you think that walking on fire helps the development of that?
Oh, I love the fact you were going to be first to walk over those hot coals when I get my hands on you. It's just like, come on.
I'm a fire baby. To be fair, I quite like the element. Fire is my element, man. So, like, I'm up for it. But I do feel like that's one of the things that is the greatest embodiment of faith, because it kind of goes against, when a door closes, when something goes wrong, what kicks in, as we've discovered on May the Life Force Be With You, talking to other people about a nervous system and stuff, is your survival, and your survival response tends to be fight, flight, quit, have a breakdown. It tends to be, not about keep going forward against this thing that now feels unsafe, that now feels dangerous. And to me, it's like walking on fire. To the mind, possibly the nervous system, is something that is dangerous. And so that's why I'm asking about it, is like, do you feel that, like how do you do it? Is it about opening your heart? It's
dropping from the head as well into the heart. Mm-hmm. It's that again. So it's that you can, like, what's it like to walk over hot coals? Like, they're as hot as a pizza oven. They're glowing. and your head is going, oh no, every trigger is going to say, nope, safety, safety, safety. But knowing that the faith is there and the heart is there, if you just go still and you take a breath and you just take that first step forward, it's like everything in life. Just steady yourself and take a step forward, and walk. That's what we're supposed to be bringing to everything. And that's the essence that I try and live by. And it doesn't matter what's at the other end. It's just like, take that first step.
And is there science behind it? Like, why, if you're not in your head and you're steady, does it not burn you?
I've got a story that I'll tell in a minute.
So you mentioned spirit earlier. You mentioned that whether it's divine consciousness, whether it's spirit, or whether it's faith, whatever that is, so that an intentions, you started this conversation with an intention. So when I build the fire, I build it with Nell and I build it with P. We build it with sisters, and we just build and we put the intentions into that fire that it's going to do nothing but heal and help. So all of our intentions are put into that in the first place. And then when we sit with people and we go through the fire safety and we go through the expectations, we ask them to set their intentions and to walk with strength and purpose. So that first step that they take is almost like it runs through them. The everything that we've put into it, we call in all of the ancestors as we're building and as we're lighting that fire. And it's like the ancestors go with you.
I feel like to do it though, you need to be held by the right people and to know how to set that intention. I say that because an old workplace that I have in the US, very toxic workplace environment, someone decided that fire walking was a really great thing to do as a team building exercise. Now, I personally wasn't there, but I knew about it because it was on the San Diego news. That a few of my colleagues ended up in hospital because they got burns on their feet. And it was like part of, bad PR of what not to do in a corporate away day was fire walking. And the people that burnt their feet, I was kind of like,
Grandfather was like, this is not going to be a capitalist thing.
no. And they were like, this probably isn't the right intention. It wasn't the right space holding. It was kind of posturing. It was, male ego, chest bear beating. And I do think there's ways not to do it. And that leap of faith was not held with the right intention. And 3 people ended up in hospital, I think. So,
yeah, I hear that. It's the duty of care side of life. It's the care, that absolute, we call them fire kisses. So if you have little burns, we call them fire kisses, which, does that sound softer?
There's something about, just when you say that, something about that care and safety and being held that we can almost translate to anything. It doesn't have to be walking over hot coals, but, thinking of toxic workplace environments, thinking of caring environments where it's all one way. And there's just those little things that build up where that psychological safety, that trust, that common collective intention is not set, felt, and pure, that then things do go a little bit wrong. People get hurt, whether it's physically, emotionally, spiritually. And I feel like there's some kind of metaphor in there somewhere for that walking on hot coals that we can translate into environments where we also don't feel safe.
Oh, I love this opening. So my partner in crime with the elements is Kelly Quinn, and she's devised a care model. So it's basically asking for consent and acceptance and all sorts of options for people to step into things with informed choices. So it's knowing that they can step into things and know they're going to have a handhold, knowing that they're going to have a wrap around somebody. It's not just somebody pushing you from the back saying, get in there. The care model is really instrumental in what we bring to the elements as well, because it's so important. We have a grounding station there. We have a tent with people that allow you to come into the tent and just land, integrate.
Wow, because I know you're not calling it a festival, but there are a lot of festivals are very, very ungrounded.
Yeah.
Very, and there's powerful stuff happening in these conscious festivals. There's medicine, there's
Absolutely.
Tantra, there's big stuff happening. And sometimes you're just like, this doesn't feel like the safest space for the depths and powers that
Being hedonistic means you can't be grounded at the same time, right? You can't be in the head and in the ground, but a lot of festivals are hedonistic pursuits, I feel.
I agree. It's so important. It was so important for us to be a sober You got me calling it a festival now. A sober retreat.
Sober retreat.
It's a sober retreat because I didn't want to mix alcohol with the work that we're doing, because it's work. When you step into just making transformational changes in yourself, it's work. And
It
then
is. And it's serious work. And it's my guides say that alcohol is shadow medicine. They say that's what it is. It's the shadow medicine of plants. It helps the expression of the shadow. So like if you're doing serious trauma release work or tantra work or medicine work and you're mixing a shadow medicine, then what's going to happen is all of that stuff's going to energize and activate the shadow.
Absolutely. Do you know what? We've got Aggie, who's our psychotherapist. She's present. She's there. We have Emily, who's our nurse. We have Joe, who's our grounding person.
This is like a retreat that is actually like so
her
full
dream come true. We should just record "May the Life Force be with you" there for 4 days.
Come on, then.
Can we?
We could speak to people and just like,
can I bring my Wi-Fi, Fiona? And can you come? And can we?
This is just my magical place. It sounds beautiful.
No, I'm serious. Shall we?
Do it. Do you know what? Do you know what one of the requisites was when I was speaking to all of the facilitators? They were saying, "What do you want me to bring, Sam?" And I was saying, I have no requisite. I just need you to be in your element. So if there was something that you do for a job, but you love doing something else, there's always that little workshop that you're thinking, "Oh, I'd love to explore that." That's what they're bringing. So it's the in your element kind of.
What do you mean by in your element? Just like I understand it, but just so that somebody listening, like, can you describe what you mean when you say I want you to be in your element?
Something that puts you in your joy. We all do things in life that make us happy, but there's those few things in life that make us just light up. Just, when your belly starts going, ooh, and then it just rushes up through your heart and through your head. It's one of those, it's your pure joy. What brings out that light in you and ignites it and makes it go, boom, I'm here.
And why would you say that is so important to care?
Oh gosh, it goes back to life force, doesn't it? It goes back to that whole understanding that we are our own light. We are the light. We are the medicine. Just all it needs sometimes is a little match. You light it, and then you watch people just bloom and go and thrive, not survive. It's so important to just bring the joy.
It's so funny you said thrive, not survive, because when I was doing this work on the Easter wound, the collective Easter wound, what came out of it, like I said, was like the only thing you can really sacrifice is your own energy. When you sacrifice and your energy, we sacrifice our energy in many different ways, but that's what we do when we overgive. When we're doing from a place of self-sacrifice rather than a place of two-way flow, not being true to ourselves, the thing that we lose is our energy. But then we go into survival mode, because when our system senses that we've lost energy, we start to operate from lack. You know, like our whole system starts to go, there's a lack of energy, because our system it goes into survival mode when there's a lack of energy. And so then we start manifesting, creating, operating from survival mode. We've all done it when we're tired, you know, like every time you're tired, that's what you do. And it's like one of the things that came out of this thing was like, well, what if every time you're in lack, you come back to life force? And what if you, rather than going into the lack consciousness, the lack mentality, you recognize that actually what the lack mentality is lack of life force energy, because you've self-sacrificed because of the Easter imprint. and then you topped up your life force energy so that you come out of lack and it back into life force. And from that and in a way, the best thing, and in a way, when you are in that lack, especially if you've given a lot, one of the best ways to top it up is to receive back what you have given.
Yeah.
And so that being cared for and allowing someone else's care and love and service and gifts to resupply.
Yeah.
It just feels, it's amazing to me, this podcast, how much the life force energy seems to lead all of our experiences into the right conversation at the right moment. But it feels like the new way of loving means that we have to not just care for others, but learn to let others care for us.
Absolutely. And do you know what? It dispels that lots of people are lone wolves. They're lone wolves. They're warriors. We've been taught to be brave, to be a warrior, to
be
stand strong, to be strong. Yeah. And there's such a strength in being vulnerable and asking for support and asking for help, and surrounding yourself with good people, the ones that will throw you a life raft when you're drowning and go, get in here, you're in lack, get in this boat, I've got you.
You're in lack.
Yeah. Get out of the lack.
Get in the life force.
You're drowning in lack.
Get in the life force raft. I love it. But, you know, also collectively we need to stop manifesting survival.
Yeah.
You know, like there is a bigger purpose to this, that we've got, like, when we have lack in our life force energy, we are creating more reality that is a survival reality, and rather than a creational reality, which is, you know, a creational reality is created out of there being more than enough energy, essentially.
Yeah.
And energy being able to circulate. And it does feel like there is that bigger purpose of us no longer creating a reality that is one of the thoughts, words, actions, and manifestations of survival.
Yeah. That's key, that is. And bringing in, so we've had a lot of conversations recently in our little team about abundance and about a rising tide takes all ships. So it's how we rise together and how we kind of look to the left, look to the right and say, who's struggling? Come on, I got enough for you. Let's all rise. It feels really important on so many levels, like sisterhood levels as well, to be able to link arms and go, there's enough for everybody. We've got enough abundance here. I don't have to step on your shoulders to climb higher. I just, come on, let's just gather together and feel into it. And I think that's the lack of lone wolf as well. That's the the collective consciousness that's needed, that there is enough. It's just we've got to tap into it.
Yeah,
And I have to say, when you talked about that joy of finding life force and, you know, just feeling it through every being, I felt that in this conversation. This has definitely filled my bucket, filled my heart. I find what you're doing so exciting and inspiring, but I'm right in that moment of release, let go, receive as well. It's kind of, the energy is a heightened energy, but there's a lot of love, a lot of intention behind it, and you can really feel that. So we most definitely will let you have the last word on how people find out about the retreat, how people find you and get involved.
I'm so grateful that Shovna introduced me to you, because we were full. We were full of facilitators, and then you popped up like a little special being, and you brought now this all together, and we get to share this journey. It's, you guys have inspired me. So yeah, gratitude. And special what you're bringing.
I genuinely do feel it from my toenails up when you say that, and from my heart. I really genuinely do. And yeah, maybe there's some fun way we can broadcast and give so that others can receive. And that really is what kind of drives Karila and I as well, to have these beautiful conversations, is the hope and intention that people take a moment out of their day just to kind of stop, reflect, bring awareness to how they're feeling and their life force energy behind it, and, you know, find voices that resonate with them, that they can really kind of feel that ability and that potential and opportunity and excitement and joy that they can kind of uncover for themselves. Because we can create the environment, we can tell the stories, but it has to be felt by the individual for it really to have that imprint on them. So what you do is really special, because you're bringing together so many of those different voices into a place that's just full of heart. So Karila's getting quite emotional, I can tell, and so am I, because it really is the intention behind what we do as well. So
yeah,
thank you so much for allowing us to have this beautiful conversation.
Oh, it's a privilege. It really, really is. Yeah. Big
and
gratitude.
if people want to come to the Elements retreat and fill up on care, what's the website? We'll obviously share it as well. But.
Thank you for asking. It's zententevents.com. So if they, and we're also on Facebook, we're Zen Tent Events on Facebook and Instagram. And also you'll see us under the Elements retreat on both social medias as well.
And just to confirm, because we haven't actually said, 28th of June to the 1st of July?
Yep, that's right. So from 12 o'clock on the Friday till 12 o'clock on the Monday. So we've given the extra day on the Monday, because most places end on the Sunday and you kind of, it's over. We wanted you to have the Sunday nights to go, let's just have some ecstatic dance and finish this off properly.
Cacao us up.
Absolutely. And then take that morning, that Monday morning, to go, okay,
morning.
Yeah. I'm leaving, bit of breath work in the morning before I go, maybe.
That's
just
so thoughtful as well.
I would like to say that in part of this inquiry into that self-sacrifice shadow, one of the things that I saw was that the problem with it is it creates bust and boom, which we've talked a lot about on this. One of the things that we saw when we were journeying with it, a woman came on and she was just like, there is, you know, in my consciousness, in my energy, there is only war, which is not having enough energy and therefore needing to survive, or peace, which is having so much energy that you don't need to go to war and engage. And she was like, there's only war or peace in my energy, and I swing between the two. And we were like, what's the middle? Like, what? There must be a middle ground between war and peace in our consciousness and our creativity. And what landed from that inquiry was the middle is creation. And creation is when you are not holding all the energy and so full of the energy that you're at peace, or so empty of the energy that you're at war and in survival mode. Creation is the circulating of energy. So it's like you're letting the energy circulate. And if everybody does that, then you've got creation. And to me, the reason I wanted to say that is like when I tune into the elements retreat, that's what I see and that's what I feel is this circulating of energy that is careful creation. And it feels just so special and so new earth and so the future of love as we come out of this self-sacrificial way of love that is, it's our destiny too. And so I think it's really amazing that you are putting this on, and I'm very, very honored that May the Life Force is going to be part of it. And I'm really, this has really touched my heart, this episode, and I can feel how much care you emanate. And so I do have one last question for you. Who should we speak to next?
Oh my gosh. Do you know what? I want to say all of our facilitators, absolutely everybody. Go through all of them because they all have just something just so special about them. They all, I tell you what they are, is they're all in the we. Not one of them is in the I. They are all in the we. All of them have stepped in and go, oh, we see the bigger picture. It's bigger than us, Sam. Let's get in. And that's so important in life. We haven't got a headline act as such, because everybody is coming in as equals. And it's just, they are such good people carrying good messages. You could pick any one of our facilitators and they would give you the most beautiful podcast. Absolutely. So just come in and do them all.
I think maybe the answer, Karila, is the Elements Retreat is who we should speak to next.
I can see you guys walking around with your mic and just saying to people, hey guys, what's your life force looking like?
Exactly.
Let's do it. I love it.
Oh, that's so exciting, Sam. Thank you so much again. As I say, I love that careful comment you made at the end there, Karila, because that's certainly how I feel now. So thank you again. I'm very excited to speak again soon.
Yeah, well, we'll see you guys soon.
Well, that was very special.
I feel like your heart is just glowing.
Oh my gosh. I thought you were going to like have a little bit of a tear at one point. What a beautiful person. And I love her playfulness in asking as well. I don't think she realizes what an amazing abundance manifester and creator she truly is, because it's her story of how the elements came about is really inspiring.
It really
and
is.
Heartfelt.
It really is. I mean, she's living it. Do you know what I mean? Like, she's living true care and faith and
co-creation and all of that, and the giving and receiving.
It's just so beautiful.
Yeah.
And you can feel the energy. You can see
definitely.
why everybody's just like, I want to help this, because like it's like this frequency that is missing, that you're just like, give me some of that. Like, make that more of our reality, you know?
I think there's such a deep authenticity as well because of Sam's 25 years as a social worker and being in that environment of, you know, caring and she mentioned foster care as well, and such important jobs that those people do that I feel are often overlooked in society. And, you know, the caring community needs more care. Right. And they need to know that it's okay to ask for it and to receive it, but they also need to know where to find it, you know, and understand that it can come in different forms as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the just even knowing that there is this time, this space being held, that you can go and top yourself up and refuel.
Well, the benefit for me of that is that having an experience like that with other people, really deeply feeling it, you know, fundamentally changes you. Something inside you shifts forever when you have those kind of experiences, which is what I've had when I worked with you over the many years. I've had profound shifts where I'm never the same again. But the more you do those and the more that you're curious, the more that you realize you can top up your life force yourself and you also have the power. And that care is an internal switch and department store you can dive into and find the right thing that you need at the right time. But it's quite hard to get to that self switch alone. You need guidance, you need to be held, you need to be shown, you need to feel and experience. And that comes through practice. And it's a journey. You know, I hate to use that word, but it's true.
But I feel like, you know, when she was talking about faith, I felt like she was saying so many things that you say and you help people with about, you know, being able to take a breath and regulate and steady to walk across the fire. You know, and it was just like, this is what your moment work is all about, is that. And yeah, it just...
But it's hard for people to hear that you can do it yourself. They need fire walking to believe that they have that power themselves, you know. And the truth is that we don't need to walk across hot coals. We have the innate ability. It just takes, and sometimes those big gestures, those grand leaps of faith for us to realize that we had the power all along. So yeah, I'm very excited at the prospect of maybe doing a little bit of a May the Life Force be with you from the Elements Retreat. Wouldn't that be fun?
Gee, that would be amazing.
We will make it happen. But please, anyone that's listening, check out Elements Retreat, ZenTentsEvents.com, and it's Friday the 28th of June to Monday the 1st of July in the Candleston Woods, I should say, in Wales. So please do go and check it out, because Karila and I are off to do just that. Until the next time, friends.
May the life force be with you. We hope this conversation has topped up your life force energy. If it has, then please help us spread the life force. Like, share, subscribe, all of that. And may the life force be with all of us.